What up, QC crew? King Day is in the mother building.
Run it up for so. JBRISKO, not know when we so. Run that shit, we at all the show. Say that shit for your camera roll.
Warning. Everything said in this video and on this platform is strictly my opinion and all alleged. Here, we speak about hot topics on YouTube and other social media platforms for entertainment and conversational purposes only. Viewer discretion is advised.
What it do? It is your homie King Day here in King's Corner, and I am back with another reaction video for you. Now look, what up y'all? We are back with another reaction video. Today we are reacting to a woman tell a story time about how her baby daddy was sleeping around with his sister. All right. We've heard this story a couple times. Let's see what this version has to offer. All right. Now look, I ain't gonna hold you. I never do. If you mess with me like I mess with you, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button, like, comment, share. We're gonna get straight into this video. Let's get it. Let go.
My second time recording this because I kept like stuttering and getting stuff misunderstood. So we're gonna try this again. I'm gonna tell you a story time on how I met my baby daddy and leading up to like the child support stuff that I've been talking about. But yeah, boom, it's a little crazy, and you're probably gonna think that I'm a disgusting human being for getting with this disgusting human being and having a child with this disgusting human being. But at the end of the day, it happened. Okay, boom, here we go.
Oh my.
So I'm living in Tennessee, he's living in Florida. I never spoke to this man a day in my life, ever. Never spoke to this man a day in my life. He was texting me for about 6 months here and there on Facebook, and I never really like saw it or anything.
Facebook dating. Facebook, I'm trying to tell y'all. Facebook, Humble, Bumble, Hinge, Unhinged, Black App, BlackPeopleMeet.com, Christian Mingle. Stay off the apps. The only app that is safe, I'm telling y'all, because we have not heard a story time yet. The only app that is safe, and I am a true believer, is Instagram, because that's where I met my wife. Instagram. Get off all the other apps, all the dating apps, all the social media apps. Don't mess with nobody from TikTok, Facebook, none of that. Find your mate on Instagram. I'm telling you, bro. We have not heard a horror story about Instagram yet. Instagram is the way to go.
Yeah, I might have saw his name pop up, but I never responded until one day he said, "I'm gonna kill you."
Huh?
So I was like, me?
For what?
That's on my first baby daddy. Oh, mind you, I only have one kid because my first baby daddy killed my kid. So anyways.
Huh?
So.
Wait. This man messaged you and said, I'm going to unalive you. And you like, this is the second baby daddy to say this. But then you come out and say that your first baby daddy unalived your first baby? I do not claim any bad juju or any negativity from this video. At all. And this video is saved in my playlist as a list of videos to react to. And now look on over to the comment section and somebody tag me in this. 2 people tag me in this. I do not accept any negativity from this video.
He was like, boom, I'm gonna you. And I was like, all right, bet, where you at? And he was like, Florida. So the next day I rented a car. Mind you, we said nothing else to each other. That's the only thing that we said. So I rented a car, drove all the way to Florida, got his address, and he pulled up. He didn't come in. We kind of like clicked and was like, saucy. It was him, his sister, and his sister.
That was his pickup line?
Her sister's son was only 1. She was like 24. He was 22. I was 18 at the time. So boom. And it was like real cool, whatever. Mind you, this is when like the retrograde, whatever, like in space time, like where stuff happens crazy. That's when this was happening, and I fully believe to this day that's the reason I was so like in a trance and really did all this. But it could have also just been because I was like really crazy back then. So anyways, so boom, they were like really cool stuff, and then they talk about like, you know, you should come up here, you should move up here, Mind you, I thought these people were normal. I was so far from the truth. Okay, so boom. So I was only there for like 2 days, and then I came back home, packed my whole entire apartment, head to toe. Mind you, I left like 99% of that. I only took my clothes and like hair stuff. So boom, I returned the car when I got back to Tennessee, and then came back to the house. I'm right back to the house, to the apartment. Packed all my stuff up. Got the same person to take me to go to a Greyhound, like the little bus, all the way to the Greyhound. Took the Greyhound all the way to to Florida from Tennessee, and then they picked me up, and then I moved in with them. After knowing them for 3 days, after him just saying he was gonna. Yeah. So boom, we move in. That's when everything started to happen, and I started to see who these people really were. Okay, this is like, hold on. Okay, so everything I'm about to say from here on, you're going to think I'm a bad person for staying there, for allowing this, even like allowing it to happen, and me not stand up for myself. You're gonna think I'm a disgusting person for not like leaving and then bringing him back to Tennessee with me. Okay, let's just clear that up. I know I'm nasty. I know they're nasty. I know I shouldn't have let this happen, but it did, and we're here now, you know. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. Every time I have to like tell someone the story, it's like
I'm scared to
I feel gross
look.
because I didn't do anything until a few months after. So move in. You know, like we smoke together, we do this, we do that. His sister, they told me that she was a stripper. Like, you know, she's just a stripper, strictly just a stripper. Okay.
The sister.
Mind you, I'm a smart, like I know what strippers do. Not all strippers, but like the way that she was, I could tell there was more to the story. Okay. Mind you, he didn't have a job there either because his job was watching her 1-year-old son. Her 1-year-old son. So she went out and worked.
Was it his son
He
too?
didn't like pay any bills. He just sat home, smoked, and watched the 1-year-old. Okay. So then when I moved in, I cannot live without having a job. So I got a job at an airport cleaning luxury cars. But that was probably like 2-3 weeks into it. So anyways, but during that time, I realized who they were. So his sister was more than a stripper. She was a
Okay.
She, like, even outside the club, it wasn't just like in the club she was a pro. No, she would get them, and then she had a trick. I don't know his real name because my boyfriend, step it back, my baby daddies always called him Brody, but I found out that was just like a term that they use. They call everybody Brody there. So I thought his name was Brody for the longest, and then I found out it's not Brody. And so, but we're just gonna call him Brody. So Brody and the sister, he was her trick, and would like get her out, pimp her out, whatever, and they would go like, you know, around and like, you know, do stuff. And she was like a heavy drug addict. I found that out. She was a really heavy drug addict. And yeah, so she would also bring these men home into her house, and while her 1-year-old son, mind you, it's only a 3-bedroom house, but one room is like a little room for her son that doesn't sleep in there. So her room's right here. Then there's a wall, right? Okay. And then this is me and my baby daddy's room. And you can hear everything. Like, she was screaming when she was beginning. Like, it was really nasty. And like my trauma that I went through in my like dad's house, that brought a lot out because it made me feel some type of way, you know what I'm saying? Okay, so, you know, but then I was like, that's her life, you know, like her son, yeah, she shouldn't be doing that or something, but like her son, I don't feel like he's gonna remember this. I know that sounds really bad to say, but it's not my business. It's not my business. It's not my business. It's not my kid. I wouldn't do that around my kid, but it's not my kid. You know what I'm saying? But I also didn't want my man hearing that because, like, yeah, that's your sister, but mind you, the trauma that I went through, that puts a weird view on, you know what I'm saying? So anyways, I'm trying to, like, not talk as much and just explain what the happened, but I, like, feel like I keep adding words into this. Okay, so boom. But then the worst, okay, so then, hold on. Okay, then my 19th birthday comes up. My 19th birthday comes up. At this point, I had passed out 2 times prior, like, just blacked out. For no reason. I just blacked out. And I would hit my head on stuff. But it's only happened 2 times. And then it kind of didn't happen again. Well, then on my birthday, she took me to go get my nails done for the first time. And, you know, we were going to go to the strip club and stuff. We were going to, like, hang out and stuff like that. They gave me a pill. Mind you, I've never done drugs in my life. I only smoke weed. And they gave me a pill. And I didn't know what it was. I still don't know what it was. It was like a little round pill. Had a little face on it. I don't know. But I took it. We were at the nail salon. I said, I really have to use the bathroom. She had walked out to get a drink. I said, I have to use the bathroom. Then she went to the bathroom. As soon as I touched the bathroom door, I blacked out. All I remember is waking up crying and her shaking me like, are you okay? Are you okay? But I know it wasn't because of the pill. I think it was because, like, while I was passing out so much, was because I knew I was in a position that I should have never put myself in, and my body couldn't handle it. and it was like trying to tell me like, get out of this position, get out of this position. Like, what are you doing? Like, I don't know. I feel like it was too much on me that I couldn't handle, because that's not my lifestyle, and I was trying to force it to be my lifestyle, you know? Okay, well, and you're probably like, well, this isn't nasty. Like, where's the nasty part? We're at it right now. Okay. While I was working, told y'all I got an airport job doing luxury cars. So when I came home one day, I caught my baby daddy, you know, doing something with his PS4, whatever it was, PS4. And so then I like search everything. I'm searching his phone. I'm searching the
Doing
PS4,
something like what?
everything. In the PS4, you know how you can get on the internet. Okay. I'm going through a search history. Stepsister, stepbrother, stepfamily.
Oh, that's what he be looking up.
Step. But it has to do with a sister. He lives with his sister, mind you. And that's when all the pieces started falling together. That's when I put A, B, and C, connect the dots. Because I knew something weird was going on. And then seeing that was what he was interested in, made my mind just be like, oh, ding, ding, ding. I was right all along, wasn't I? And you're probably like, but that's just like the girls he's into. Like, you know, a lot of guys watch that and they have sisters. Da-da-da. Yeah, but do they watch it while living with their sister that walks in the room naked, that he watches the camera of when she's in the kitchen naked? No, they don't. And yeah, he tried to tell me, it's just the girls, like, I just like the girls on there, da-da-da. Right. So you're not into the whole sister-brother thing, even though you live with your sister, and you literally go on the camera at times, she's, like, in the kitchen with these men, and watch her? That's why you, like, listen to her, and wouldn't tell me, like, that you weren't listening to her when she was, like, fucking in the next room? Oh. Okay. All right, we're gonna have to do part. Okay, this is like my second time.
So, before we get to this next part, okay, she met the dude. He said something crazy that apparently attracted her to him. She went to go see him, went back home, gathered her stuff, went back and moved in with him and his sister. His sister dances and sells cookies, right? So she sells cookies out of her house. She also is comfortable enough to walk around in her birthday suit. And he obviously watches the camera from time to time while she's walking around in her birthday suit. She also has a very loud oven. So when she's baking the cookies and they're being sold, the oven makes a whole lot of noise. So she can hear, and her boyfriend at the time can hear the sister baking and selling the cookies. And it makes her very uncomfortable. On top of that, she's on the PlayStation one day and she sees the search history. The search history is full of roasted corn being searched with keywords like stepsister this, step brother that, stepdad, and all of that. Everything is just like step. Because I don't believe you can, well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't know. I never searched it, but I was going to say, I don't believe you can search stuff for your sister, like just straight up sister. So the step part will be in the front, but I wouldn't know. So she goes through his phone, and it's also a lot of stepsister content being shown there too. What y'all think about it? I would find it a little weird. With everything that's going on, I would find it a little weird, because what make you want to see siblings, or like step siblings rather? Like your imagination or your turn-ons make you want to see siblings. My new word for things that I don't understand is interesting.
Okay, part two. Mind y'all, I only started this story time because I was waiting on the store to open, but now we have to finish this before I go in. It's because I hate when people don't fucking post part twos, and I'm like, y'all need to hear the rest of this. So boom, I think I left off when I found out what he was doing, and like how I knew that it was a part of something more. So yeah, when she would go out at night and then come back, she would always, like, you know, have her little scroochy outfits on, and they were always like see-through, and like she had nothing else underneath, so she was like basically naked and just had fabric over her. And I would always catch him like staring at her and stuff, and it was like really weird. And I was like, like, that makes me insecure because the trauma that I went through, I know that this happens. And it was really hard for me because I was like, half of me was trying to think, is this just my trauma talking? Like, am I seeing this through trauma lens and like making this something more than it is because of what I went through? Or is this actually going on and I'm literally witnessing it, and it's my own like baby daddy and his sister? So whatever. It was really hard for me because I didn't know. I like literally was going crazy because I didn't want to project that on someone else's family just because of something that I went through. So it was like, it was driving me crazy because every day I would wake up and I didn't know. I never wanted them around each other. I never wanted them hanging out with each other while I wasn't home. I never wanted them smoking with each other. I never wanted them going to the park or doing anything because I didn't know what it was. Okay, well, boom. Well, then I found out that it was what it was. I kept telling him I wanted to come back to Tennessee. I hated being there. Literally after I found that, like, on his TV and, like, I started seeing stuff, like, putting it together, I started, like, really drilling it in on him. I wanted to come back to Tennessee. I was going to come back to Tennessee. I was not going to stay there. With or without him, I was coming back. Like, I couldn't do it. Well, then his sister starts talking to me and is trying to get me into the business that she's in. I would never in my fucking life. No. I was only 19 at the time, but never in my life would I ever want to go down that road. If you could do that, that's you. That's cool. That's amazing. That's your life. That's your body.
Amazing is insane.
But for me, that's not my life.
That's amazing.
Nope, not for me. But anyways, I did tell her that I would work at the club with her if I could. Like, I would want to work there because I always wanted to be a stripper because of the money, but I never would do it outside of that because I know what that is. At the strip club, you're kind of just like dancing, you know, doing private stuff. Yeah, I can get extra, but not allowing people into your body, that's something else. You know what I'm saying? Especially because if I were to do that, then she would try to get me on like drugs and stuff like that, and I'm not into that. So I just knew what it was and I didn't want to go down that path. But I did tell her that I would work at the club with her. Mind you, in the like 3 months that I lived there, I never even got to go to the club. So that was like the one thing I want to do, and I never got to do it. Well, anyways, so boom. Well, then I would come home and stuff and they wouldn't be there. Like, they wouldn't be at the house, and I would be texting them, and they wouldn't answer for hours, and I'd be like, where are you at? Well, then I finally would come home with like a Little Caesars pizza and be like, oh, we were just at the park, and none of y'all could answer. Like, okay. Oh, mind y'all, I was renting cars for these people the whole time on Turo, and I owe $46,000 something because she stole one of the people's, like, I don't know what it was, like, Mustang convertible, whatever. Oh yeah, I can show proof for that. Literally, it's still missing. I get emails every motherfucking day that I owe $46,000 something because it was never returned. But yeah, like, to this day, still never fucking returned. Okay, but anyways, mind you, I was renting cars for them the whole time, so they were doing this shit in cars that I was renting for them in my name, and you know, stuff like that. So, well, anyways. So then I find his phone, and I'm going through his phone one night. I'm going through it. You know, he's asleep. I'm going through it. And I found all these pictures of her.
His sister?
And I'm like, what? Like, what the heck? Okay. So I'm looking at all these pictures, and they're like skanky pictures. You know, like her in these outfits, her in the club, her doing this, her doing that. And one time she made me make one of those websites, or like one of those app profiles where you can, like, you know, find men, like, basically like Craigslist for, like, one of those. I don't know what it's called, but that. And it was like kind of like pictures that she had sent me to do that for her. And I was like, well, maybe he just had to make an account for her. But then I started thinking about everything else, and I'm like, no, he's just weird. You know, I was finding him watching the camera when she was in there, like, having sex and stuff, and it's just weird. Then one night, Brody comes over, her pimp, and we're all in the living room, and she gets her stripper pole out, and she just starts dancing, and we're all smoking, and I'm so fucking uncomfortable, because while she's, like, bending, twirling, doing all that, he's literally just... Even Brody said something. He was like, bro, why are you staring at her like that? Like, is you good?
Like, that's your sister.
No, he's not good. He's in love with his sister. Like, no. Mind you, to this day, I can never tell you if they actually was or not. I don't know. I never actually saw that. But I know it wasn't just him obsessed with her, because she would come in there purposefully wearing the outfit she did even when Brody wasn't there. Mind you, Brody got mad every time she went in the room wearing those outfits. He knew something was up too, because he always got mad and would beat on her after she went in there doing that. And it's like, I wouldn't let no man beat on me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you better beat him back up. But anyways, he would beat on her for coming in the room around her brother dressed like that. So I think he also knew something was up. But she would like stare at him, like, and I know, like, I don't know, I don't like my brothers, so I don't stare at them, but she would just come in there and like stare at him. Like when he was like playing on the game, she would just like stare at him and like look him up and down and stuff like that.
So they did it to
And
each other.
You can tell, like, you can see the difference of, oh, that's family. Like, you know, she's just looking at him, she's like mesmerizing. She was mesmerized, all right. She was mesmerized, all right, guys.
But you don't get mesmerized by your
Anyways.
sibling.
When she would go take a shower, he would have to say he has to go to the bathroom, and he wouldn't come back for a few minutes. Mind you, there's only one bathroom in the house. Just stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? But to this day, I can never actually prove that I can just prove what I saw, what I witnessed, what I went through, and stuff like that. Hold on. Okay, so boom. So all that happened, and then right before we moved out, because we were planning to move out like probably like 3 months down the road, and I expedited that shit real quick after this happened. She let one of her friends move in with her daughter, and I really didn't like this girl because just some things, like she acted just like the sister, and I just didn't like it, and she would be looking at my man. So she moves in while her daughter goes somewhere else, like to her mom's or aunt. I don't know where the fuck this little girl went, but she disappeared for the night that this happened. And they got drunk, the sister and the best friend of the sister. They got drunk, whatever, da-da. Well, then the girl starts going crazy. She's like, where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? You took my daughter. Where's my daughter? You done took my daughter. You hid my daughter. Where's the fuck my daughter? Y'all, I never been around, like, I've been around some crazy people. I've been around some people that have done some fucked up shit, like, while I'm sitting there. But never in my life have I seen someone reacted that way and go that fucking insane. Like, she thought that we took her daughter and just, like, I don't know, like, threw her into the wind. Like, they made her disappear. We were hiding her or something. Like, she was so dead set on we did something to her daughter, when she literally went later that day and dropped her daughter off somewhere. I don't know where the daughter was, but she thought that we did something. Okay, anyways, y'all, this story's been over for 8 minutes. I'm supposed to be in there right now. Okay, anyways, so that happens. Well, the sister keeps saying, like, bro, we didn't do nothing to your daughter. Like, what the fuck? You sitting here tripping on me. Like, I let you move in and you sitting here doing this. If you was gonna drink and do all this, I wouldn't let you drunk. Da 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 da. And me and my baby daddy, we were just sitting in the room, like, you know, we're not trying to get into all this. I'm like, bro, just leave it alone. Like, this ain't our business. He was like, yeah, but I'm gonna stick up for my sister. Yeah, I bet you fucking are. Okay, anyways. Well, then I'm gonna just like skip everything. Like, we was throwing her stuff out. The sister told us to. She was like, throw her stuff out of the house. Like, she's sitting here blaming me for doing something to her daughter. Throw her stuff out. So we're sitting here throwing all this bitch's shit out the front, like in the front yard. Throwing it out. And she's like, you throwing me out. Da-da-da. I'm so sorry. Then she started crying. She's like, I'm so sorry. Where's my fucking daughter? I'm so sorry. I don't know. I'm so sorry. Like, back and forth. I literally never seen shit like that in my life. Hold on. Okay, part 2. Mind y'all, I only started this story time.
Part 3.
Okay, I'm hoping this is like the last part.
Okay.
We're not in my city, so I don't know what the fuck's going on. Okay, so anyways, so we're throwing all this girl stuff out. She's going back and forth, da-da-da. Well, then she was like, I'm sorry, like, I'm gonna go to bed. I'll chill out. I'll go to bed. Like, promising up and down, she'll go to bed. So the sister's like, all right, come in here and go straight to fucking bed. It's like, all right, I will. Me and my baby daddy go in the room. We start hearing something. Because mind you, her room's right there, like the sister, and then there's just a thin wall, and then his room's right here. And we start hearing something, and it's like banging and janging and doing and nagging, and it's like somebody's in there tussling. And all you hear is the sister screaming my baby daddy's name. Blank, 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 blank. And he was like, bro, is she calling me? And I was like, bro, leave it the fuck alone. And she was like, blank, blank, blank. So he's running out the door, run through the kitchen, run to her. And he was in there for a few minutes and then came out, and both of them are butt booty naked.
Huh?
This is a moment of silence for that, because I had to see that. I had to see my baby daddy next to his sister butt booty naked in front of another woman butt booty naked after everything the past month, 2 months had just entailed, and he was in there for a few minutes. To this day, I fully believe that was a fake fight and something else happened in that room, but I also don't know, because when they came out, they were still like kind of on each other, but they were naked. And I'll tell you why they were naked too. I know why. And like coming out, they were still like trying to fight, whatever, but then she threw her out. So I don't know, it really could have just been that. Basically, while they were naked, she was getting her poom poom by the girl, and then something happened. I guess she brought up her daughter again, and then they started tussling. I thought she was supposed to go to bed. I thought she was in the bed asleep. I thought she was going to bed. I thought she was going to bed, but you wanted your poom poom, so they was doing that. But yeah, so that was kind of like the last straw for me, because I literally saw in front of his face too. So I was like, nope, we're going home. So I was like, bro, I'm leaving. I'm going to Tennessee. I called my mom.
So are you pregnant at this point, or what?
And I was like, Mom, like, I really need to get out of here. Like, please, like, this is not a good place for me. Like, stuff is starting to happen. Da-da-da. I was already telling her that I was going to be coming back. Oh, mind y'all, I didn't even tell you this. Hold on.
Okay, I'm home because I recorded the rest of that video and then it deleted and I got mad, so I didn't finish it. What I was gonna say is I hadn't told my mom that I was coming to Florida when I did come to Florida, but when I was working at my luxury car place at the airport, cops came up to me, like detective whatever cop, and they were like, "Are you blank blank? Are you being trafficked?" And I was like, "No, my job's at 18 at the time, so they couldn't do anything." I was like, "No, I moved here, da-da-da," and yeah, but I don't know how they found me. To this day, I still don't. I just know that she somehow found out I was from Florida, and somehow they found out where I was working, and so yeah. But anyways, back to the story. I told her that I wanted to come back to Tennessee. She's like, okay, well, then my baby daddy was like, I want to come back to Tennessee with you. Like, I really need to get out of this. I don't want to be here anymore.
Need to get out of what?
Sure you don't. Anyways, so boom.
That's your lifestyle.
It was a little bit more than it actually was for the Greyhound, so that way I could pay for his ticket too, because I did have a little bit of money, but I didn't have enough to cover both of our ticket.
You done told her the Greyhound ticket was double the price so that he can come with you. I thought you left him in the dust. She did say in the beginning everything she did, so I guess she already told us ahead of time that he was coming back with her, but still. She helping you out of the situation. The least he can do is pay for his own ticket. He fibbling and fabbling with his sister, and you done conned your mama into buying him a ticket too.
Or the remaining of his without any more help. So I told her that, and then we both got a ticket. Went to Greyhound the next day. We told the sister that my mom was sick, and that's why we were coming up here. And we're only gonna be here for like a week, because he said that was the only way that we could leave. First of all, if I want to leave for any other reason, I am gonna leave. But he was like, let's just tell her that, because that's the only way we can do it. So that's what we told him. Packed our stuff up, left. Came back here, got on the Greyhound, came all the way back here. We lived in my apartment that I had before I left, because my mom was still paying for it, because mind you, she didn't know where I was, so like if I was like being trafficked or something, she was paying for it, because I was only gone for like 2 months. And yeah, so which shout out to her, because she really didn't have to do that, especially with the stuff that I was doing. But yeah, so we came back here, and then we both realized that we were both very abusive. Well, we would get into an argument, and then I would say, oh, that's why you're fucking your sister, and then he would start beating on me, because like as soon as it slipped out of my mouth, he would start beating on me. And then I'd be like, see, you're so mad because you know I'm right. And he's like, I just don't want to hear that. Da, da, da. And I'm like, well, no, I didn't want to see it. So, but yeah, so then that's why all the cops got getting called at my first apartment with him, because mind y'all, he didn't have a job the whole year and a half that he lived here, even though I had 2 different apartments in the time. He just stayed at home and did nothing, which I can't complain, because like I lived through it. Like if I could have changed the situation, you know what I'm saying? I'm not complaining, I'm just telling you what happened. And so yeah, and so we had him out of the first apartment, because everybody kept calling on us, and then we moved into another apartment in the town over, living there. But then when we were living there, after a year and a half, it finally got to the point where we were like, beating on each other, like, even after we smoked. And usually when we smoked, like, we would chill out and we just, like, watch TV and not argue, not even, like, talk to each other. But we were, like, fighting now when we were smoking too. Mind you, I'm over a year sober. I don't smoke anymore. But yeah, and so we were kind of like talking about breaking up but still living together, because like he really had nowhere to go. He doesn't have any identification of anything, so he can't really go anywhere. So we were just gonna say we were gonna live with each other. Well, then I found out I was pregnant. Okay, boom. I'm a CNA and I work night shift. Oh, I did at the time. And so I went to work and I checked my camera and they were cut off. So I had someone come pick me up. I had a car, but either I didn't have gas to go there and then come back and then go back the next, like when I got off. For some reason, I think that's what it was. I don't know why else I wouldn't have drove. Maybe my headlights weren't working. But I did have a car. But I called someone. They picked me up at work and drove me to my apartment. I walked into my apartment and he's packing all his stuff and he's like, I'm leaving. So he literally runs out the door behind me, like literally like hops over the bed, grabs all his stuff and runs out the door. So I'm like, wait a few minutes. I'm like, did that really just happen? And then I run after him and I tell the person that's waiting outside, because mind you, I'm supposed to go back to work. It's like 2 o'clock in the fucking morning. Like, I didn't even tell the people at work that I was like doing this. I just told them that I was going on break. So I tell them, hey, I'm sorry, like I have to go deal with this. And they're like, okay, bet, like be safe. Well, then I'm chasing him for like 2 or 3 hours up and down the road, and you know, try to convince him to come back. And he's just like kind of talking about coming back, but at the same time he's like, I can't do this anymore. Like, you keep talking about my sister, you keep like, all they do is beat on each other and that. Mind you, I'm over a month pregnant at this point, because I didn't find out I was pregnant until 4 weeks. So at this point I was about like 5 weeks pregnant, I think. And it's 2 o'clock in the morning and and I have been working since 10 o'clock and I don't get off till 6 o'clock. Anyways, so I'm chasing about 2 or 3 hours. Finally, we got to a point where we're almost into the next town. And the next town would be Rockwood. And if you know anything about Rockwood, that's where all the crackheads live. And I'm very terrified of Rockwood, especially at nighttime, because literally that's where all the crackheads are. And so I was like, I'm not going any further. Like, I'm pregnant. I'm not putting my child in any more harm way than I'm literally already doing. So I go all the way back to the house. I'm like, fuck this. You know what? If you're not supposed to be here, you're not going to be here. Like, maybe this is what it's supposed to be. So I get back to the house and I'm like bawling my eyes out. I text people I'm working with. I'm like, yo, my baby daddy just ran away. Like, I can't come back to work. I don't even have my car with me. So then my mom picks me up the next morning and I'm like, I know exactly where he is. So we go down to the McDonald's the next town over. He's literally sitting there waiting for them to open, because he stole my fucking tablet and was gonna take his friend in Indiana to come pick him up. So yeah, and I like tried to talk to him, like, are you really gonna leave? Like, your kid's about to be here, but like, you know, I'm not gonna say that I didn't act crazy, because I literally was like trying to pull because he had my purse, my tablet, so I was like trying to take it back, and then my mom was like, leave it alone, just get in the car. So I was like, okay. And then she went to the mental hospital, because like I kind of went crazy, because I knew that my kid wouldn't have a dad and I never wanted that, so I was like going mentally insane. So she took me to the mental hospital for like 2 months, and now I'm doing amazing. But yeah, okay, so quick update on the child support, because I really want this to be the last part. I gave them the information. They sent me 3 letters, and they called me yesterday. I was at work, and they left a voicemail. They were like, we need more than his name and where he lives. And I was like, because I told them Indiana, and they were like, we need more than that. And I was like, bro, I told you where he's getting paid under the table, like what he's doing for work. I told you all his tattoos, mom, adopted mom, the last phone number that he had, which is still his current phone number. And I told them all of this, and they just want his social and his birthday. And I was like, I could potentially get his birthday, but there's no way that I could get his social security number, because he doesn't even have a social security card. Like, nobody does. So I'm like, nobody knows it, you know what I'm saying? So I feel like it's kind of just a lost cause. So I don't know. But yeah, that's how I met my baby daddy. Okay, I'm hoping this is like the last part.
Whew, we had to work through it. We had to work through that last part. That was a mess, but okay. So, get with the dude. You figure out that he fabbling with his sibling, or allegedly fabbling. You want to get out of there because it's crazy. You don't want to live in that environment. You don't like it. You ready to go back. You go back home. Your mama buy you a ticket, but you tell her that the price of the ticket is more than what it is, so that you can get him with you. He comes there. Y'all start doing too much, hitting on each other. It gets real abusive. It gets real crazy. He wants to leave. You find out you pregnant. You don't want him to leave. So you start going crazy. Eventually your mama convinces you, hey, let that go. Let that be. And she takes you to a mental hospital for a couple of months, because you pretty much spazzed out. You spazzed out real bad because you wanted your child to have their father. Understandable, but the type of man that he is, and I understand she was, what she said, 18, 19, whatever the case may be. It's understandable for you to be like, you know, I don't want my child to grow up without their father and whoopty whoopty bamdy poo. But the type of man he is, do you want him around your daughter? Okay? He has strong feelings for his siblings, and his siblings have strong feelings for him. Do you want him around your child for real? Like, at the end of the day, I feel like you dodged a bullet. This is a case where I would prefer, call it what you want, but this is a case where I would prefer for that man to not be in that child's life. That man is toxic on so many levels. And I'm not just talking about drugs or being abusive. He needs some real therapy. He needs a day or two at the mental hospital. He needs help. They need to do some internal work with him. And the same for that sister. So I think it's actually a good thing that you and your baby got away from him and cannot find him. Leave him be. I think the child will have a better outcome in life without him. Y'all let me know what y'all think down below in the comment section. That's all I got for you today. Look, if you like videos from me and you want to see more is to come. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, because right now, King Day is out. Peace. The motherfucking building.
Run it up was up. Yeah, BRISKO, I know when was up. Run that shit, we had all the show. Say that shit for your camera.